Tell us how you got here.
A little over a year and a half ago, I was living in the house my parents built. I lived there with my husband Charlie and my daughter Sam. It wasn't modern or anything, it was just home. We'd been living there for about 3 years before Sam was diagnosed. Charlie, my husband, brought up the climate refugee camp, and I think it was 44? Yeah, 44. In 44 we were approved for relocation to Settlement Delta. We spent the rest of the year preparing for the move. As you know, packing requirements are a pain. It's difficult shoving your whole life into 7 boxes. When people ask me about the worst day of my life, jump to 2 moments. First is when Sam was diagnosed, and the second was the morning we were scheduled to leave. We woke up at 7 a.m. to prep for pickup at 10:15. And Sam was packing her room up, and Charlie was sterilizing the walls and the corners under the desks and tables. And I was packing supplies when Charlie stormed in with a letter in hand. And the letter was from you guys. And it said that our transport had been pushed 4 hours earlier to 6:15 a.m. The letter also said that our transport would not wait for more than 4 minutes before leaving. And that's when I pushed to make the journey by foot. Charlie disagreed almost immediately. He said that making the journey on foot would put Sam in the same amount of danger that keeping her there would. We argued for a bit. It felt like we were arguing over nothing. Charlie's main concern was the climate, obviously. All of this is going on and Sam's still packing her equipment. And I tell her, grab your mask and your sunblock, we're leaving. And, it felt surreal, just walking out the door. Because, you grow up observing the changing environment, watching it demolish neighboring states and counties. Wondering what that devastation would look like to me was a consistent anxiety growing up. You don't know if you're going to die drowning in your own home or falling through the cracks of a fault in the earth. And my devastation came in the form of walking out the front door for the last time, leaving the door unlocked. So by 11 a.m. we'd been on the road for about 2 hours. Hadn't spent this much time outside in years. I could feel my skin rash from the radiation, and Charlie would not stop going off about how inconvenienced he felt. That was his big thing. He just couldn't let go of the past. You see, my generation lived on 2 Earths. One habitable, the other barely habitable. Lots of people struggle to accept the fact that this just isn't the same world. And, as the sun set, we donned our winter gear. Sam was sleeping and slung over my shoulder. I could feel the weakness in her breath against my back. And a car was approaching from behind us. Charlotte and I looked at each other and it felt like time froze. This was the decisive moment. We take the risk and trust a stranger, or we persist. Charlie stepped into the middle of the road and stuck his thumb out. I don't think that was necessary, but you see it in the movies, so I didn't become worried until the car got closer. It wasn't slowing down. I told Charlie to step out of the center, but he just looked at me. I think he had made a choice. I started yelling and begging, screaming, but I think he made the choice before he left. I blinked, and he was gone. So Sam and I continued. At this point, my main concern was Sam's health. Her breath was slow and labored, and I was helpless, and now I'm really second-guessing myself, because if Sam dies, that's on me, that's my fault. And, Sam woke up soon after we entered a heat pocket. There's so many of those out on the highway. And about halfway through the pocket, I kicked into survival mode. I shed my clothes and Sam's, and I drenched ourselves in the rest of the water I had packed, and I'm not sure how long we were in there, but I just kept walking. And we got out of the bubble, and I collapsed and dropped Sam on the concrete, and I wanted to die. And as I was laying there, basically just praying for a car to just smother us, I saw headlights illuminating the road in front of me. I didn't get up. I just closed my eyes and held Sam as tight as I could. The car got closer and closer. I was waiting for that punch, followed just by blackness. but it never came. The car stopped just feet before our bodies. I had never felt more defeated. I think that's when everything hit me. Next thing I knew, I was sitting shotgun in some kind of vehicle. I'd hardly call it a car. Sam was asleep in the back seat, and I explained the situation to our new friend. She said she could take us about a half mile outside of Settlement Delta. So I just closed my eyes and slept. When I woke up the next morning, I had to really reorient myself. But I couldn't tell if I was dreaming or not. And I thought Sam was still asleep in the back seat, but she looked different. All the color had drained from her body, and she looked weighed down. I tried to wake her. I'm sorry. I think part of me is happy that I'm the only one who made it. This world wasn't for Charlie, and it's not the world Sam deserved. I don't know. We accept the realities we're given, and this is mine.